Hi, I'm Nikita.
And I'm Lina.
We're two best friends with endless curiosity and plenty to say.
Join us as we dive into everything and anything life throws our way.
From hilarious stories and pop culture hot takes to life lessons and deep dives, no topic is off limits. Whether you're looking for a laugh, a new perspective, or just some fun company, this podcast feels like a chat with your bestie.
Get ready for unfiltered conversations, lots of laughs, and a whole lot of heart.
This is Two Voices, One Vibe. Welcome back, my friend. How are you today? Where are we?
I am fabulous. We are here for episode number 3 of Two Voices.
One Vibe.
Welcome.
Hi.
I love your hoodie.
Do you?
I do.
I love my hoodie.
Where did you get it from?
Well, Santa brought it to me in the name of Lina.
Oh, that's so crazy because Santa brought me one in the name of Nikita.
Oh my goodness! Look at us!
We're the cutest.
We're so cute.
I love it.
Yes. So, I thought it might be fun to talk about pet peeves today.
Oh, I have so many of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the first one that comes to mind that really grinds my gears is when someone says, I could care less. Because if you could care less, that means you care to a certain extent. And you could care less. But then again, I'm like a grammar Nazi. That's kind of one of my things.
You are a grammar Nazi.
So it really bothers me. So I text in full sentences with punctuation.
And you edit text messages.
I do. I edit text messages. I edit other people's text messages. So
the best is when I send you a text message and it makes no sense and there's grammatical issues and spelling issues. And I'm like, meh, you can figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah, I actually have an app on my phone called Grammar Police. And if you use I do. And if you use the wrong version of the word your, so like your Y-O-U-R versus Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, it's like a red grammar correction, and I'll just place it over your text message to show you that you use the wrong line. Or there, and there.
See, I'm good about those, typically, and the 2, 2, and 2.
Yeah.
Those, because those ones drive me nuts.
What about then and then, with an A versus an E?
I am not good with those.
Yeah. So the A is a comparison.
Yes.
Right? So
yes.
I am better than you at X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
The E is we're talking about like a place or a time frame, right? So, I'd rather go here first and then go there.
Right.
So those drive me absolutely to the wall. I used to be a college professor.
Yes.
And so I used to tell all of my kids, I call them kids, most of them are older than me. I tell all my kids, you're not going to be able to pass my class if you don't know basic English. So if you don't know the correct form of these words and when to use them, you're going to fail my class. And they're like, but professor, this has nothing to do with that. This isn't that kind of class. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm the one grading it. So it's going to be whatever I want it to be.
So you must love my messages then.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. I hold it inside of me so that we can speak every week and do our podcast and still have fun and you not be like, can you just read my text message?
But, in all fairness, the your, and your, the 2, 2, and 2. What was the other one?
Well, there's only 2 yours.
Yes.
Yes.
But regardless.
Yeah.
I'm good about using the right your. I'm good about using the right 2.
Yeah.
I've never really picked up on the then and then.
Yeah.
So now I'll have to watch that one. But
see, so now every time you type it, you're going to be like, oh no, is this the right one?
No, I know the difference.
Yeah. And like past, like P-A-S-T, and past, P-A-S-S-E-D.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's just stupidity if you don't know the difference between those and if you use those the wrong way.
You'd be surprised. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever screwed those 2 up.
Yeah. Lead, that's another one too. Like,
what would be the other lead?
Well, there could be like L-A-I-D, lead. There could be like L-A-Y-E-D, lead. And there's different versions of, I lay on my bed, I laid on my bed, I lie on my bed.
Never screwed those up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There are some people who do. It's, quite interesting.
I don't think I've ever come across somebody using those the wrong way.
You obviously didn't grow up in the hood like me.
No, I did not.
Didn't work in corrections like me. You should have seen some of the letters that my inmates used to send me.
Those would be some good stories, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would just read them and then give them back and laugh because you can't keep anything because then it's like, I wrote Miss a letter and she kept it. It was a love letter. It's like, it wasn't a love letter and you don't even know how to spell and. So that's a problem.
You don't even know how to spell and.
Yeah.
Stop.
Oh, another pet peeve?
Go.
Axe. I'm going to ask you a question.
Oh, instead of ask.
You're going to murder me?
Yeah.
You're going to ask me a question. That.
Well, what other pet peeves do you have that aren't grammatical?
Aren't grammatical. I don't like when people have rat's nests in their hair and they don't brush it.
Oh, like my little one?
Yeah. That really bothers me. It's like, why do you look like you don't belong to anybody?
Because they're homeless.
Yeah, that bothers me.
She's not homeless, but she looks like she's homeless more often than not.
You know what else really bothers me?
No.
Socks and sandals. It's not okay.
No, it's not.
It's not okay. Like, it's not cute. It's not the new thing. It's
what about socks with slippers?
That doesn't bother me. Socks and slippers.
Considering you have socks and slippers on right now.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me because I'm not going out in these.
Jesus sandals?
No, they're a big, hot no. That's a hell to the no.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't like the Jesus sandals. I'm going to say one that's actually really controversial.
Oh, I'm here for it.
Two of them that are really controversial. One is men in sandals.
Sandals or flip-flops?
Both.
Really?
I don't like it. I don't generally like toes. It's never something that I look at and I'm like, ooh, that's hot.
So you don't have a foot fetish?
I don't have a foot fetish, no. And I don't want to see them. I just think men look better in shoes than sandals or flip-flops. I get it. You're going to the beach or something and you need to wear them. But just to be like wearing them to walk around or like go out to eat, I don't like it.
So I guess a foot OnlyFans is not for you?
I mean, I have really nice feet. I feel like I could do a foot OnlyFans. Yeah.
Because that's not...
I mean, if anybody wants like a foot OnlyFans, just like let me know. Maybe we can make it happen. I'm just saying, I have cute feet.
Well, I sent, speaking of OnlyFans, I sent my boyfriend a screenshot. No, I sent you a screenshot.
Of your conversation with him. About us.
About us.
Yeah.
And
he wants to be our cameraman.
God bless that man.
I mean, I can see why. Who wouldn't want to be our cameraman? But... yeah.
OnlyFans is not my jam, though.
But that's what I said. I said, you have too many permanent markings that people would know it's you.
I do.
Whereas I don't.
Well, not on my feet, though.
Well, so we could still do the foot thing.
We could.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would do that, though.
I would totally do it. Why not?
What about chewing loudly?
Gross.
Drives me nuts.
Don't eat with me. Don't sit at the table with me.
Wait.
I don't like it.
Remember when you went to dinner with me and my boyfriend for the very first time?
Yes.
Remember... Do you remember what you said about him after?
I do.
What did you say?
I said that I really liked the fact that he was respectful and kind to all the wait staff. Because I hate, another pet peeve of mine, when people treat them as though they are literally servers and that they are there to wait on you. Mm-hmm. Yes, I understand. They are there to serve you.
But they're human beings.
But they're human beings. Yes, say please, say thank you, engage with them. I will always ask the person's name. So if they come to the table and they don't introduce themselves.
Do you remember
our
waitress's name?
No.
Neither do I.
But I remember that night. And I asked her and I called her name all night.
You did.
Yeah. And I'll engage with them and talk to them and all sorts of stuff. But I hate when people don't do that. I find that so rude. If I'm ever on a first date with a guy and he is not kind to the server or the hostess, total deal breaker for me.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh, so my other male pet peeve besides the no shoes.
Yeah.
Men in jewelry. I don't like it.
Any jewelry at all?
No. If it's a watch, watches are acceptable.
Okay.
And if it's a wedding ring because he's married to me, then it's acceptable. But since
earrings,
that's not a
necklaces?
thing. No. Bracelets, no.
Okay.
Nope. Not a thing for me.
I don't. Well, my boyfriend only wears a watch, so there's that.
Yeah. Well, to each his own, but that's like a deal breaker for me. It just kind of makes me I don't want my man to be more feminine than I am.
What do you want your man to be?
Manly as fuck. I mean, you know what's really funny?
No, tell me.
So I watched the 90 Day Fiancé series. I know that you're not really too into this.
Yeah, I couldn't get into that one.
So they're having this show now. It's called The Last Resort. And it's basically all of the couples who have been through the 90 Day franchise at some point, and they're having troubles with their significant other. So most of them are spouses. They've been married already. Some of them are not.
Now, wait, before we go any further. With 90 Day Fiancé, is it normally the man is from the States and the woman is from out?
No, it could be either way.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have a bunch of different versions of 90 Day Fiancé now. Now they have a show called The Other Way, where it's actually the American that's going to move to the other country to be with their fiancé.
Okay.
So in this last resort, it's couples who have been married or been featured on the show that are having troubles, and they're going to this last resort. It's literally a resort for, 5 or 6 of these couples to get intensive therapy and try to work on their relationships.
Kind of reminds me of The Ultimatum, but go ahead, continue.
Okay. So there's this one scene where they're doing therapy, and they have these gigantic posters that say yes, no, and maybe. Mm-hmm. And they'll ask a question of all of the couples that are there, and then each person individually has to go and stand next to the yes, no, or maybe sign if it's something that they're willing to do. Mm-hmm. So one of the questions would be, would you be willing to have a threesome and introduce a third person? And then the couples would go stand by whichever sign it was, and then some of the spouses would look at each other and be like, oh my God, I can't believe you stood there. Oh my God, I can't believe we're both here together. Why did we never talk about this before? And so one of the questions was pegging. Right?
God.
And it was, would anybody be interested in pegging? And everybody pretty much went to the no place. And when they were interviewing one of the wives about it, she was like, I like my man manly. I don't want him to want anything up his ass, whether I put it there or he puts it there or anybody else puts it there. Like, that's not a thing.
Not even if she put it there.
Right. Okay. She's like, no. She's like, I don't want a man who enjoys that, because if he enjoys that, what else can he enjoy? And I felt that in my soul. So yes, I don't want a man who's more feminine than I am. I don't want a man who's wearing jewelry. I don't want a man who's
Could any of this be any PTSD or anything?
I could definitely be PTSD, but I felt this way about the shoes and sandals situation, and I felt this way about the jewelry prior to fruitcake. So.
Wow, we just outed him right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that.
What are some of your pet peeves?
I agree with you. When I am with somebody and they are mean or nasty or rude to a server or a waitress, that drives me bananas. Mm-hmm. Hard stop, hard no, see you later, I'm done.
Yep.
Talking with your mouth full. It's just disgusting.
It's gross.
I have no tolerance for that. One of my pet peeves pertains to driving. Okay. I cannot stand when people don't use their blinkers. Like, I'm supposed to read your mind and know where you're going to go. Yeah, like, I knew you were going to turn left when I didn't know you were going to turn left. And then the other thing that really grinds me, when I'm on, like, the turnpike or whatever, and I'm doing 75, 80...
I got some gold cards in my pocket. Just call me up,
when somebody gets in front of me and then slows down to like 50. I'm like, why? Why did we do this?
So annoying. Yeah.
Or the other thing that really drives me nuts is like if I'm at a stoplight and the light turns green and the person is engrossed on their phone rather than paying attention to the light and the driving situation in front of them.
That's annoying.
It drives me nuts.
That's annoying. You know what else drives me nuts? And this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. Those like crew length socks.
Really?
It's shorts.
Mm-hmm. Oh, with shorts, yeah, I could totally understand that.
Yeah. So, like, that's the new thing all the girls are doing. So, like, my daughter's cheerleading team and everything, over leggings or with their cheerleading uniforms, and they're wearing those, like, crew-length socks. That drives me up a wall.
What's your thoughts on the no-show socks? Because now, apparently, that's a big thing. Like, wearing no-show socks is, like, a no-go anymore.
Oh, I'm okay with no-show socks.
I love my no-show socks.
Yeah, I don't see why that would be an issue at all.
Yeah, apparently... I was talking to my girlfriend at work, and she's got 2 teenage daughters. And she was telling me that everybody's wearing the crew socks, like you were just saying. And I'm like, well, don't we wear no-show socks with sneakers? Right. And she's like, no, we don't do that. I'm like, oh, I do.
Do you know what else drives me nuts? No socks with shoes.
Yeah, unless you have flip-flops or sandals on, you need to have socks on.
Yeah, I agree. Otherwise, I just feel like it's like a breeding ground for athlete's foot and nasty things to grow in there.
What do you think of Crocs?
I hate them.
Do you know my little one had Crocs on today?
Yes, I know. You got them for her for Christmas as well.
Yeah. And he wrapped them.
So, of course, your Christmas elf. So I know that there's a whole saying, you know, like, if you ain't crockin', you ain't rockin'. And
never heard that.
Yeah, that's a thing. And they, what are the little things called that they put?
Gibbets.
Gibbets. I was going to call them giblets, so that's good. Gibbets.
No, that's the part of the turkey.
That's why I was going to call it that, because I was thinking turkey. But no, I cannot get down with Crocs. I don't think they're cute. I don't think they're comfortable. My mom has made me try hers on probably 57 times in the last year.
Crocs.
I've never owned them either. But she'll be like, just try them, Lina, just try them. And I'll be like, they're still not comfortable, and I still don't like them, and I still wouldn't be caught dead with them. I'm like, but it's so cool, like, you can put them in sport mode. I'm like, there's nothing cool about that, and nobody's playing sports in those things, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. I'm not on the board of crocking. You know what else I'm not on board with? And this is going to be a really unpopular opinion, and I'm about to get some haters.
Oh, bring it.
Don't like Chick-fil-A. There. I said it. I don't like Chick-fil-A.
I'm not crazy about it. I'll eat it. But it's not like, I'm not ride or die with it like some people are. I do like their fries, though.
See, and I think waffle fries could be crispy and delicious, and theirs aren't. They're not even salty or flavored.
Since we're on the topic of fast food, I'm not a big fan of McDonald's fries. And everybody
I hate McDonald's fries.
You know whose fries I like, though?
Whose?
Burger King.
I used to like Burger King's fries, and then they changed them, and I used to love their ranch, and then they changed the ranch too, and now it tastes like ass. So
How do you know what ass tastes like?
It would be my assumption of what ass tastes like. Yeah.
So you don't have...
But I could ask Fruitcake and see if it's confirmed. So I actually went online and I started Googling what happened to Burger King's ranch, and there are petitions for people to bring back the green teal buttermilk ranch that Burger King used to have, because that with their fries used to be my jam. And then when they changed the ranch, they changed the fries, and now I'm not a happy camper.
I'm sorry. I'm not a big fast food person, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, but I love me some Taco Bell. Probably because I can eat it. You know, there's not a lot of fast food I can eat since I have celiac disease. But tacos, generally, there's a couple things there. Power bowls and tacos with the crunchy shell that I can have because they're corn-based. So.
I don't like Taco Bell. Which is funny because my little one loves it.
Yeah. Well, I can come pick her up in the middle of the night and we can go on a Taco Bell binge.
Maybe not the middle of the night, but you can come and pick her up and take her.
But then it wouldn't be fun. What's the point of going to Taco Bell at 2 o'clock in the afternoon instead of 2 o'clock in the morning? Do you know what happened to me yesterday?
No.
So I got a new mattress topper.
Yes.
And you ordered the same one as well.
I haven't gotten mine yet.
So mine came in yesterday. So I put it on my bed and I was all excited. And while I was doing this, I took off this grounding mat. Have you heard of this grounding mat? Do you know what this is?
You've mentioned it to me before, but I'm not familiar with it.
Okay. So this guy that I was seeing gave me this grounding mat. So basically what he says is it's supposed to take any like electrical volts that are inside of your body out while you're sleeping so you can sleep more peacefully and sleep throughout the night without waking up. So he actually tested this thing out with like this electric voltmeter thing where you hold it and you test yourself to see how many volts your body's making. And I think it was making like 4 volts or 7 volts or something like that. And then when you touch this grounding mat and you do the test again, literally 0. Mm-hmm. So your body's not having any electricity flowing through it. So supposedly you're able to sleep better. So I'm not really sure how this works or why this works, but grounding in and of itself is when people are barefoot and they're standing on the earth or they're standing at the beach and it's supposed to be grounding and it's supposed to be really good for your health and your mental health and well-being and all that stuff. So he buys me this grounding mat and he's like, it needs to be under your bed sheet because it needs to be as close to touching your body as possible. And your whole body doesn't need to be on it, but just part of your body needs to be touching it. So yesterday when I went to put the new topper on, I took it off the bed and I forgot to put it back on. So I don't know if it's coincidence. I don't know if it was just in the back of my head and subconsciously I was thinking about it. But I fell asleep probably about 11:15 on the new mattress topper, which was nice and soft and fluffy, and I was very comfortable. And I fell asleep, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I couldn't fall back asleep. And I went to the bathroom, and I was really thirsty, so I went down to the kitchen, and I got something to drink. And then I come back upstairs, and I see the grounding mat on the side of the bed, and I'm like, oh, am I not able to sleep because it's electric?
Oh, my God.
So in the middle of the night, I take off everything from my bed and I put the grounding mat back on and I plug it in, I plug it into the wall and I set it back up. But at this point, like I'm awake. So then I proceed to go onto my phone onto Amazon and I start ordering outfits and clothes.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me you ordered Domino's pizza again.
No, that was 2 nights ago.
Oh.
I did. I did. My mom mentioned she got it and I was like, no, I really want pizza. And I had all these leftovers in my fridge anyway, but I really want a pizza. So
yeah.
I put my bed back together. I start ordering things off of Amazon. I start ordering outfits and clothes and all sorts of things.
Why were we ordering clothes and outfits? For anything in particular?
Oh, for New Year's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then I go and I turn my TV on and I watch an episode of Dateline because what better way to relax than watching people kill people, right? So that's relaxing for me.
Because you're psycho.
A little bit. So after all was said and done, I didn't go to bed until 4 o'clock in the morning. But once the grounding mat was on, I slept right through. So I don't know if it's me. I don't know if there's actually something to the grounding mat. I don't know if it was subconscious me knowing that the grounding mat wasn't on the bed.
How long have you had the grounding mat on the bed to begin with?
I'd say mid-November. So it's probably been, 6 weeks or so.
Okay.
And I have not woken up since that grounding mat has been on the bed. Not once. I have slept through the night. I have had really restful sleep. I haven't woken up feeling like I tossed and turned all night. So again, I don't know. Is it me? It could be me. It's very possible that it's me.
I don't know because I don't have a grounding mat and I sleep like a baby.
Right. Or is that the placebo effect? Like I know it's there, so I'm sleeping better.
Like I sleep like a baby. I can. So over the weekend, I stayed by my boyfriend's house and he had gotten up before me.
You stayed by his house or at his house?
By his house.
Oh, so are you sleeping with his neighbor?
No, I was sleeping outside.
Oh, okay.
No. So I stayed at his house and he had gotten up before me. And he tried to wake me up. I have no recollection of this. He tried to wake me up a second time. No recollection.
Why would said boyfriend be trying to wake you up early on a weekend when you have no children?
Because we like to have sex.
You can do that when you're awake. You don't have to wake somebody up to do that.
No, but it's fun.
Pet peeve of mine.
Oh, no, I don't mind being woken up for that.
No?
No.
Yeah, no.
Have you ever been woken up by a man doing fellatio? Eating you out.
Yes.
And that bothers you? That's a pet peeve?
No. See, that wouldn't bother me so much as when you're like scooching up behind me to do like the big spoon, little spoon thing and like your peckers in my ass and it's 6:30 in the morning and I'm like, take a shit, go rub one out. I don't care what you do, but I'm sleeping. If you're between my legs now, at least you're putting a little bit more effort in between, you know? So like, that would make me happier. But I am not a morning person. I like to sleep. So I'll have sex with you 4, 5, 6 times in the next 5 hours, but let me sleep.
What time do you get up on a regular basis?
On a work day or a non-work day?
Let's start with work days.
Work day. So if I'm going in the office, I'm usually up by 7 or 7:30.
If you're going in the office. So you don't go into the office every day?
No, so I have a hybrid schedule. So,
oh, that's right. Okay.
I have an office in North Jersey. I have an office in the city, and then I also work from home when possible. And then I travel sometimes too. So I usually travel about once a month for work.
Okay, so on your work from home days, what time do you get up?
On my work from home days, usually I like to be up by 8:30, but sometimes there are times that I don't get up until right before 9 and brush my teeth, and I go downstairs and I...
What time do you get up on a morning when you have to go into the office? Be it the city, North Jersey, any office.
Usually by 7:30. If I need to be in the office for like a 9 a.m. meeting, I'm up by 6.
Do you know what time I get up in the morning on a work day?
It's a time that isn't actually a valid time to have an a.m. after it. I think it has like a 4 or something.
Yeah, 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Do you know what time I start work?
Do you know what else that is? It's a pet peeve of mine. The number 4 followed by the letters a.m. Pet peeve.
Yeah. Do you know what time I start work?
6:30?
6 a.m.
6 a.m. That's
You're
terrible.
still sleeping.
I am still sleeping.
I'm going to start text bombing you.
You can text bomb me all you want. My phone's on silent.
No, but I have the power to break through, remember?
So you have the emergency bypass, but that's only for the phone call. It's not for a text message?
Noted.
Yeah.
I will start calling you every morning.
I'll just take you off emergency bypass. No big deal.
I mean, I have needed it.
Problem solved.
I have needed it, so.
Yeah.
Once.
One time. But we took care of it.
Yeah,
we handled business.
We did.
Yeah, that's all good.
So what other pet peeves do you have?
What other pet peeves? Okay, so back to the Chick-fil-A thing and back to my celiac disease thing. So Chick-fil-A actually has...
Is celiac a pet peeve of yours?
No. But what is a pet peeve of mine is that other people can't get on board like Chick-fil-A. Because Chick-fil-A actually has gluten-free buns.
Do they?
They do.
Oh, I didn't know
not
that.
many people know about this. And they actually serve them in a plastic bag. That way there's no cross-contamination. So they won't put your grilled chicken sandwich on it because they don't want to open it up in an environment that's been exposed to gluten. But they'll give it to you. So another pet peeve of mine is, why can't other people get on board with this? Why can't McDonald's, why can't Burger King, why can't Wendy's have gluten-free buns for people who have this issue, right? So I'm not just doing it to stay away from it because I want to be on a fad diet or I think it's going to make me thinner, it's going to make me healthier.
You're going to
doing it because I literally have celiac disease, and it is an autoimmune disorder, and it has all these different effects on your health and well-being, and I've had other issues associated with it. So why can't you just make other people's lives easier? So if Chick-fil-A can do it, why can't everybody else do it? That's a pet peeve of mine. I just feel like you're not catering. You'll do plant-based burgers, and you'll do all of these other things for people who are choosing to make dietary choices, but this is an actual dietary restriction and not a choice for me. That's kind of a pet peeve, just being a little bit more inclusive, right? Yeah. You have diet soda for people who maybe have diabetes or they're watching their sugar. Why can't we have gluten-free buns? If Chick-fil-A can do it, I feel like everybody can do it.
You're absolutely right. And there is no reason why other fast food chains can't do it. So I can completely get on board with that and understand that.
Yeah.
So because even pizza places are now doing...
Yeah.
So doesn't Domino's do cauliflower crust pizzas?
So it's not a cauliflower crust, it's just a gluten-free crust made with like rice flour. But the interesting thing is Domino's will actually have a disclaimer that says if you have celiac disease, you shouldn't order this gluten-free pizza because it's made in an area that has other gluten-containing ingredients, which is really any kitchen. Unless you're a dedicated gluten-free facility, there's going to be the chance of cross-contamination. So I understand that, I get it. But I love the fact that I can call Domino's at 12:30 in the morning if I want to, and I can order a pizza and I can eat it in my bed.
Right.
And I've never actually gotten sick from Domino's pizza, and I'm really sensitive with my celiac disease. So I don't just take willy-nilly chances. But again, I know that they don't have an entire gluten-free facility, so I'm going to be taking a chance. Anytime I eat out, I'm technically taking a chance. But a lot of places have dedicated gluten-free menus or dedicated gluten-free fryers. And then even pizza places are offering cauliflower pizza option or gluten-free pizza option. So why more people can't do it, I don't know. But another one of my pet peeves, also relating to this, is people who say they have celiac disease or say they have a gluten intolerance, and they don't. So they're the people who give us a bad name because then people are like, it's fine, you can just take the bread off the sandwich and eat it. And I'm like, no, I can't because if it touched it, I'm going to get sick. And they're like, that's not true.
Right.
Or you'll see somebody and you'll meet them and they'll say, oh yeah, I have celiac disease. And I'm like, oh yeah, so do I. And we'll start talking about it. And then I'll see them order something and then literally take something apart and eat it. And I'm like, you wouldn't be doing that.
Well, even... Remember when I was first diagnosed with my Hashimoto's, my doctor told me to go gluten-free. And it was a lot easier in that aspect for me because I could do that because if I got cross-contaminated, it wasn't the end of the world. I wasn't going to die like you did. Yeah. And I don't really follow the gluten-free thing anymore. So.
But the difference is you didn't go around telling people, you know, I'm gluten intolerant and I can't have this. You were just doing it for a different reason, which is fine. But it's the people who say, I have a gluten allergy, and then you see them cheating and eating something that make it seem like people like me are going above and beyond what we need to, but I actually do need to because it causes all sorts of issues with my esophagus. I've had multiple surgeries because of it and all sorts of things. And it could turn into diabetes. It could turn into esophageal cancer. And eventually people die from it.
We should do a deep dive into celiacs with you.
We should. I really want to get my celiac shirt. It's a t-shirt and it's like an outline of a yak, like the animal.
The animal.
And it says silly. And it's celiac. And I was like,
That's
funny. Really cute. So I think
we'll have to do a whole conversation about that because...
Yeah, I've been through a lot.
Yeah. We'll do that on another episode.
Let's do it.
Do you have any pet peeves when it comes to your parents?
Anybody talks shit about my mama, I'll shank them. Probably my biggest pet peeve. I'll kill you if you talk bad about my mom.
Well, I think that's any kid. I think if my kids heard somebody talking bad about me, they'd stick up for me too.
Yeah. I think one thing with my mom, which I laugh about because my mom and I were just talking about this probably within the last week or 2 weeks. She is beginning to forget a lot. And I tell her, I just want to make sure it's just you being forgetful and maybe just not paying attention, and it's not something deeper because that scares me.
The onset of dementia or something.
Right. Because that scares me because I've seen my aunt go through it. I've seen other people go through it. And I just want to be sure that there's no sort of intervention if that is what's happening. Hey, here's a pill that you could take. Hey, here are some memory practice techniques that you can work on if it is something else. And I just genuinely hope it's because she's forgetful or not paying attention. But I'll tell her something and she's like, Lina, I had no idea. And I'm like, but I told you this yesterday. And she's like, no, you didn't. And then I'll find the text message and I'll be like, look, see, we had this conversation. And she's like, well, that's right, I remember.
That would
like,
drive me nuts.
How do you remember now? Yeah, so that drives me nuts. But again, as long as it's coming from a place where it's just her being forgetful, I'll go through it with her 1,000 times. I don't care. It'll drive me nuts in the process. But I love her and I just want to make sure that she's going to live forever. So.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
I think one of my pet peeves, my mother, God, love that woman. But she will call me. My mom lives in Arizona. It's a 3-hour time difference. Sometimes, well, actually, right now it's a 2-hour time difference. And she knows this.
Yeah.
And she knows I'm up at 4 a.m. She knows I'm at work at 6 a.m. She knows I'm at work until 6:30, 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And she insists on calling me in the middle of the day when I can't talk. And I'm like, I can't talk right now.
Yeah.
She's like, well, why not? Because I'm at work.
Yeah. My mom will do that sometimes too. Like she'll know that I'm going into the city. And if I'm going into the city, I'm going there for a purpose. It's not just because I feel like working out of the office that day. I actually hate commuting in and out of the city. So I'll be like, oh, I have to go into the city, this, that, and I think, oh, okay, be safe, da, da, da. And then she'll call me and I'll text her and I'm like, in a meeting, what's wrong? And she's like, nothing, just called to talk. And I'm like, but you know I'm in the city. And she's like, yeah, call me when you can. I'm like, okay, because that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Or what makes me laugh too, she did this 2 nights ago. She called me, we were getting on the phone. She's like, all right, honey, have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm like, no, you won't. You know you're going to talk to me 5 more times before the night's over. You know you will. So the next time she called, I'm like, hi. And she's like, oh, shut up. But yeah. Other than that, no. I actually have a really great relationship with my mom and my dad. I know you have really good relationships with your parents as well. My dad doesn't never call me. Oh, pet peeve with my dad. He doesn't tell me he loves me.
Really?
Yeah. So it's this whole, like, born in another country thing. Go for it.
It just reminded me of pet peeve with my dad. I'll send him a text message and his reply to me will be a thumbs up. And I'm like, why?
It's so weird.
Like, no matter what. Love you, Dad. Thumbs up. I'm like,
yeah. Right back at you.
Yeah.
So I'll tell my dad, I'll be like, I love you. And he'll be like, okay. And I'm like, okay, you heard me. Okay, you love me too. Okay, you acknowledge I love you, but you don't love me. And then my dad, so I'll be like, Dad, it's okay, you can say it. And he's like, I don't need to say it. I'm like, but I'm asking you to say it. And he was like, but you know that I love you, so I don't need to say it. And I'm like, but how do you know that I know that you love you? And he's like, because I've showed you enough love throughout the years.
To make your parents' life miserable, don't you?
But here's the thing, right? So we talk about different love languages, right? Do you know your love language?
I am a acts of service.
Okay.
And I am a physical touch.
Oh, me too. Maybe that's why we love each other so much.
Touch
you. And I made lunch for you today.
You did make me lunch. It was tasty.
So like I'll tell my dad, but you know, it's one thing for you to say, you know, I love you and this isn't me, but it's another thing for me to feel loved and receive love the way that I feel love, you know? So why is it so hard for you? But that could also be a generational
thing, because I don't think the whole love language thing was big.
Agreed.
So.
And I think it's a cultural thing too, because
Yes.
my dad, you know, obviously grew up in another country. I'm first generation American here. It wasn't a big thing in his family. They didn't snuggle each other and tell each other loved each other. But my mom did all the time. I'd sleep in my mom's bed and we would
my kids used to sleep with me all the time. To this day, Mom, can I sleep with you tonight?
Yeah. My daughter was 14 years old still saying, Mom, can I sleep in your bed? So I think it's just a different type of relationship and a different type of affection that we share.
And I also think it's different for women than it is for men.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree with that. But I do have like really fond memories of my dad at night where he'd, you know, tuck me in at night. So my mom worked 3 or 4 nights a week, late at night. So she had a dance studio. She still does. She teaches people how to ballroom and Latin dance. So she would be there, obviously, when we'd be going to bed at night for school. My dad would put us to bed. And I would remember my dad, kneeling at the side of the bed, and we'd pray together. And he would tuck me in and, give me a kiss on my forehead. And, normal people, when they kiss somebody, they go, mwah, right? They make like a kissy sound. My dad's, and I don't know if it was the language barrier or what, my dad's is mush. So he gives you a kiss on your forehead and he goes, mush. I'm like, what are we wishing? But it's cute. So it's just a different relationship that I have with my dad, obviously, than I have with my mom. And I'm really close with both of them, but I'll tell my mom anything, I'll tell my dad just what he needs to know.
I'm still scared of my dad. And my dad's 82 years old and I'm 42 and I'm like afraid.
Does your dad give you the look? Or like, what did you...
That was my mom.
Was your mom?
That was my
mom.
mom.
So how did you get punished growing up?
The wooden spoon.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, you pissed them off. You got the wooden spoon. And
was it thrown at you? Or were you hit with it? Like, what happened?
No, it never got thrown. I got cracked across the ass a couple times with it, though.
Oh, okay.
My mom was always the look. Like, if the look of death came out, you knew you were in trouble.
Yeah.
And it was also the full name.
Okay.
Like, the first name and middle name.
Yeah.
Then you knew you were in trouble.
Okay.
So
neither of my parents ever put a hand on us. That was not a thing. We never got hit, which was very different than how my dad was raised, because that was a very normal thing growing up for him. But our parents never put our hands on me or my brother. But my dad is the one who had the look. Like, if looks could kill, there were times that I would get in trouble and my dad would look at me and be like, just hit me. Please just hit me. I would rather you hit me than have to deal with that look. Like, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, see, it was my mom who gave the look. And I think I tend to give the look more so than my kid's father.
Yeah.
Even to this day, I think I give the look and my kids know.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, he'll try to give a look and they just kind of laugh at him.
Yeah. See, I didn't even think that I had the ability to do the look until my ex-husband told me. So I gave him the look once when things went really bad between the two of us. And I remember him saying to me afterwards, please don't ever look at me like that again. And it wasn't a conscious thing. I didn't know that I did it. But he's like, I knew that you were serious. He's like, I can't ever have that look again. And I remember replying to him, well, I guess if you do, that'll be it.
Right.
And that's what happened, because then when I was done and I wanted a divorce, I gave him the look again, and he said he knew he was done.
Yeah.
So I wonder what my look looks like, because I think I'm actually pretty friendly and
I don't think I've ever gotten a look from you.
Yeah, I don't think you have, because you would have known. Apparently, people know. And I give them the look, like they know that.
Well, and I believe that because like when I give the look to the kids, they knock their shit off.
Yeah,
because they know.
I wish I could replicate the look without being pissed off. Like, I don't want to have to get mad to find out what my look looks like. But I feel like next time it happens, I hope somebody's like, hold on, stay there and let me take a picture. Like, you ever find your kids, like, when they were little, getting into some trouble? So, like, one of my other really good friends, she's got this little daughter who's a hot mess. I mean, she gives her a run for her money. And the one day she is calling for her mom. She's like, Mom, Mom. She's, I don't know, maybe a year and a half old. Really tiny. And she's stuck in the toilet. Like, literally stuck in the toilet,
oh my God.
Feet in the toilet, the whole nine, and she's stuck. And so my friend runs in, and she sees her, and the kid's on the verge of crying, and she's like, hold on 1 second. And she runs and she grabs her phone, and she comes back, and she takes a picture, and she's like, now I'll help you. And then she takes the kid out. But every year, she reposts the picture on social media, and we're like, oh, it's the bad baby. And we laugh about it, and then we laugh about how it's the bad mom, too, because we made sure the kid was okay, but we took the picture, and then we helped the kid. You know,
no, I don't have any of those stories with my kids. But I also have to say, like, and I'm not just saying it because I'm mom, but my kids are good. Like, I don't have...
They're still young.
I know.
Give it time.
I know, 10 and 8. I know.
Yeah. Once middle school hits...
That's next
dun,
year.
Dun, dun, dun. Yep. It's all going to go downhill from there. Yeah. And then they're going to come back, I hear, supposedly, after college.
I wouldn't know because I didn't go to college, so.
Yeah. So supposedly the kids come back after college, but they leave you sometime in middle school. So there's that gap in there where I hate you, you don't know anything, you're old.
I already get your homework pet. You want to talk about a pet peeve?
Yeah.
Homework is a pet peeve. Specifically, math homework and the way they teach math. Because 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 anymore.
Oh, yeah. This Common Core stuff where there's bubbles and there's numbers in different places.
Crazy. So my oldest will come home with math homework. And she's like, so 4th grade last year, she came home. And I think it was like multiplication, like 2-digit multiplication. And I'm like, all right, you do, say it was like 10 times 2. You do 2 times 0, 2 times 1. She's like, no, that's not how you do it. I'm like, well, yeah, it is. That's the way Mommy learned. And she's like, well, that's not the way my teacher told me. And I'm like, well,
but it still works.
You're still going to get the right answer.
Yeah.
She goes, but that's not how we're doing it. I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Well, then I can't help you.
Yeah. I think about that all the time, trying to help my daughter with her homework. And I'm talking about even when she was in elementary school, when she was in middle school. Now she's in high school. I'm totally lost. But I'm like, how many degrees do I need to have to figure out how to do this math problem?
Because it's not taught the way we were taught.
And it doesn't make any sense. And I don't know why we haven't looked at it and said, this is harder for children to learn. And why can't we just do it the tried and true way that we've done it all these years, where nobody's been confused and everybody's been fine. Now everybody's confused. The kids are confused. The parents are confused. Even sometimes the teachers are confused teaching the kids this, because it just doesn't make any sense. So I'm not sure where that's coming from, but there's our PSA to the educational department.
I dread when I get the, Mom, I need help with my math homework.
Yeah. It's like, oh, no. Yeah. I'm really good with like numbers, but when they started mixing the numbers and the letters, like the whole algebra thing.
Oh, like algebra?
I feel like you should leave the letters in English class and leave the numbers in math class, and I'll bomb at both. But once you combine them, I'm like, it's a little sketch. But they have this app called Photomath. Do you know about it?
You mentioned this to me once before.
It's the most amazing thing ever. You take this app, and it basically has a little camera on it, and you put it over the math problem, and it scans it, and it gives you the answer, and it shows you the step-by-step how to solve the problem.
Oh, okay.
It's the most amazing thing ever. It's free, and it is for me. So I always used to have this app on my phone, and then I would look at how the problem was solved, and then I would work with my daughter, and I would say, oh, okay, this is the next step you need to do. This is the next step. And then she'd be like, oh, I remember, I got it. And it'd be really good to jog her memory. So I wouldn't let her have it on her phone, because then she would just do it for every answer. But I actually used it to help me help her, which is pretty sad that I have that many degrees, and I have to use an app to help my daughter with her math homework.
I have 0 degrees, and I don't use an app to help my daughter with her math homework.
See? You're better than me.
Just do it from how I was taught, and if you don't like it, oh well.
Yeah. But just wait until middle school next year, and you start getting math.
No.
Don't call me. I'm taking my emergency bypass. I'm going to be like, call Professor Lina. I'd be like, she's out for the day.
Any other pet peeves you want to talk about?
Let's see. Any other pet peeves? I don't like people that smell.
Oh, yeah, take a shower.
I don't like when people are too close to me when I'm commuting on the train. I don't like... Oh, my God. Okay. When I'm in the bathroom. So this has happened to me. I was in the mall. And when you walk into the mall, there's probably 8 stalls on each side, right? Nobody there. Absolutely nobody there. So I go into one of the stalls and go to the bathroom. Person comes in and uses the stall right next to me. There's 15 other stalls. You had to pick the one right next to me. Why? So I'm going to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I hear the person talking. Hello? 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 Can you hear me? So I'm like, there's nobody here. They're talking to me. So I'm like,
are they on the phone?
I don't know. They're in a stall. I can't see.
Oh, sure.
So I'm like, hi. And they're like, hey, what's up? So I'm like, nothing. Just going to the bathroom. What's up with you? And they're like, yep, just stopped at the mall. So I'm like, okay. And they're like, do you want to get together later? What? I'm like, right? I'm like, what? I think that's completely inappropriate. I'm like, I do not want to get together with you. And they're like, I'm going to have to call you back because the person in the stall next to me thinks I'm talking to them. And I'm like, well, what kind of psychopath gets on the phone in the stall in the bathroom? Like, who does that? I don't talk on the phone in the bathroom in a public place. Like,
I've talked in the bathroom in a public place.
I don't do that. And that was not okay. And then I'm like, I'm not a psychopath. You're a psychopath. But then, of course, I hid in the stall until after they left because I was the one that was embarrassed and I didn't want to see them.
Because you're a psychopath.
That I was desperate trying to meet up and make plans with somebody at night after meeting them in a bathroom stall, which I wasn't trying to do. But that's a big pet peeve of mine. Like, that's not okay. That's really weird.
That's obnoxious.
Yeah. So
I can get that. I can understand that.
Yeah, don't get too close to me. Same thing if there's like a train and there's other seats. Why are you going to sit next to me on the train? Just basic hygiene. Let's make sure we're using deodorant. Brushing the teeth, especially if we're going to be near people. Yep. Don't touch me. I don't want to be touched.
I'm not touching you.
Yeah, see, that's okay. But like,
I'm not touching you.
So when I was pregnant, I remember I was in ShopRite. I was in the grocery store.
Did you let people touch your belly?
Never.
No.
So I'm standing in line at ShopRite and I'm loading all the things onto the conveyor belt. And I turn around and the woman behind me grabs my belly and starts rubbing my belly. So I grabbed hers and I started rubbing hers. And she freaked out. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm rubbing your belly. She's like, why would you do that? I'm like, because you're rubbing mine. She's like, but you're pregnant. I'm like, yeah, even more of a reason why you shouldn't be touching me and my unborn baby.
Yeah.
And she was horrified that I was rubbing her. And I'm like, so it's not okay for me to rub you, but it's okay for you to rub me.
Yeah, that's not right.
That was not okay.
No, that's not cool.
So yeah.
I also have the pet peeve, like when I'm out with my kids and some random person tries to come up and talk to them. I'm like, don't talk to them. Don't look at them. Just keep going.
Yeah. Well, you know what's really weird for me? So I was at the vet years ago. My daughter's probably still in elementary school. And I was paying the bill and some other woman had come out with her animal and was talking to my daughter. And my daughter was talking to this woman. I mean, they clearly knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it freaked me out that she had a social life above and beyond me where she knew people that knew her that I didn't know. So it turns out this was her lunch lady at school.
Oh,
so
like her lunch mom or whatever?
So it was nothing weird, but it was just weird for me.
Because you didn't know.
I didn't know who she was. And my daughter knew exactly who she was. And I'm like, how does she know people I don't know? Like, that was really weird to me.
It happens, though.
Yeah. So I know what you mean when you're like strange people talking to my kid. That person actually knew my kid. I just
I'm
didn't know that they knew my kid.
I'm talking about
Just
somebody.
randos.
Because I will say, like, if we're out and about and my kids see somebody that I don't necessarily know, they'll be like, oh, Mom, that's so-and-so.
Right.
You know, so that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But a complete stranger?
Does it bother you when complete strangers want to steal your baby out of a baby carriage?
Like you?
Or you just make friends with them?
You're the only one I've ever made friends with.
See, because at least you know I wasn't like a weirdo. I was there with a kid and I was a mom.
I didn't know that for sure.
It would have been really weird if I didn't have any kid and I was just at the cheer fundraiser walking around trying to steal babies. That probably would have raised some more alarms.
Yeah.
But I'm actually a certified foster mom.
Yes, you are.
So fingerprints on file, background check, the whole nine. So the state actually trusts me to raise other people's kids. That's how great of a mom I am.
I have no comment.
Well, you've let me raise your kids. I've watched your kids while you've gone on vacations and out of state and stuff.
And I've watched your daughter, and even your foster kids I've watched.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. See, we share all the things. We share podcasts, we share hoodies, we share food, we share children.
We don't share husbands.
No, I don't share
or boyfriends.
Men. That is not a thing.
We don't do that.
I can't say the same for my partners, but I don't share them. Yeah.
On that note, do you have any other pet peeves you'd like to talk about tonight?
No, I think I talked about all the things. I'm sure I pissed a couple of people off, but that's okay because we promised real conversation. So this is me. Take it or leave it.
Well, there you have it. Those are some of our pet peeves. So make sure you send an email, or you can catch us on TikTok or on Instagram and share your pet peeves with us. And until next time, I will see you later.
Sounds good. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching or listening. And we will see you guys on our next episode. This is Two Voices,
One Vibe.